open your eyes.
I know the smoke plume keeps coming and going, and we can actually see maybe a little bit more of the sky behind now. We're looking at Jersey City here across the water, and everybody on my staff here and people walking by continue to say, just like you guys mentioned earlier, that it looks really apocalyptic. We've been chatting with some tourists here, and they were trying to get, and this was earlier, they were trying to get a nice skyline shot. And this was when the smoke was really thick and you could barely even make out the buildings that you see right behind me. This was about 20 minutes ago. And I gotta tell you guys, I've been out here a few hours. I think we got out here at around 4 o'clock. My eyes are burning.
There are some people who claim we are now in a deglobalizing world. But actually, I would say we have to reglobalize this world. We have to make sure that we strengthen cooperation because, as it was mentioned, we are faced with issues which are of existential importance for humankind. We, through joint efforts, we could really make this world a better place by using the capabilities we have.
Battle for the soul of a nation.
We've told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not.
A stark warning from President Biden in front of our nation's birthplace.
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backward.
Republicans accusing the president of further dividing the country.
He has launched an assault on our democracy. What Joe Biden doesn't understand is that the soul of America is in the tens of millions of hardworking people.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
So the light comes into the Pantheon from the oculus, which is the 9-meter hole in the ceiling, and it is the only source of light of the whole building, besides the doorway, of course. Obviously, depending on the time of day and the time of year, the light that comes in through the oculus, it sweeps around the oculus, and sometimes it's higher up, sometimes it's lower down. During the summer, obviously, it goes straight down and it hits the floor. There are a couple of times of year, however, when the light does this extraordinary thing, including today, September 4th, which was a day in ancient Rome to honor Jupiter Optimus Maximus, the most important deity at the time. There was a temple to Jupiter on Capitoline Hill.
Happening today, the long-awaited opening of the new transit hub at the World Trade Center. Chopper 2 flew over it early this morning. The indoor lights shining brightly at daybreak.
The opening comes with controversy. Here's CBS's Michelle Miller.
It's called Oculus, 15,000 tons of steel reaching more than 25 stories tall. Famed architect Santiago Calatrava designed the hub to resemble a bird rising. Its archways will house 11 subway lines, and officials estimate 250,000 commuters every day.
A democracy should be building important buildings for people. It's nice to arrive in the city in an exhilarating place that sort of gives you a lift. You know, I think those great moments are sort of like the exclamation points in the city.
As much as places like this help downtown roar back to life, it's not without its controversy. This structure is billions over budget and at least 5 years behind schedule. When the hub's design was first unveiled in 2004, officials estimated it would cost around $2 billion. But after rushed design changes, water leaks, and Superstorm Sandy in 2012, the finished product will cost almost twice as much, coming in at $3.9 billion. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey called the project challenging, but added it will serve a vital transportation need for the region while becoming an important landmark.
It was a very, very ambitious, difficult, design.
Officials are hopeful this landmark will also prove to be an economic engine. Within these public atriums is over 200,000 square feet of potential retail space.
This was a very successful mall before 9/11, and we have no doubt it's going to be a very successful shopping center.
You feel that now the life of the city has come back to this 16 acres again.
The partial opening is scheduled for 3 this afternoon. Path riders will be able to access a new entrance at the corner of Liberty and Church Streets. The other entrances will open throughout the spring.
When Santiago Calatrava designed this architectural wonder that is the Oculus at World Trade Center, he envisioned a people's cathedral. So when Westfield decided it wanted to start bringing immersive experiential art exhibits into the Oculus, we thought who better than Michelangelo and his iconic Sistine Chapel frescoes to begin this wonderful experience of letting our visitors get up close and personal with art. You can take pictures, you can linger, you can get an audio guide in 4 different languages and experience learning and immersing yourself.
Listen to me.
What? Who?
I, Vigo, the scourge of Carpathia, the sorrow of Moldavia, command you.
Oh, command me, Lord.
On a mountain of skulls in the castle of pain, I sat on a throne of blood. What was will be, what is will be no more. Now is the season of evil.
Evil?
Find me a child that I might live again.
Yes, a child. A child. A child? A child.
Were I a Jew, I would be a Zionist. And my father pointed out to me, I did not need to be a Jew to be a Zionist. For I am.
off the request line from Liberty Island. We gotta squeeze some New Year's juice from you, Big Apple.
You know your love is more limited to me. Higher, higher, higher. I said your love. Listen to me. Higher, higher,
Man, I can't wait to see people's faces when we come on shore. This should really get the city's positive energy flowing, huh, Binky? Keep kicking, Libby. You make this work, we'll pop for a weekend in Vegas with a Jolly Green Giant.
Can't you go any faster?
I'm afraid the vibrations will shake her to pieces. We should have patted her feet.
I don't think they make Nikes in her size, Ray.
Oh, don't worry, she's tough. She's a Harvard chick! Oh, sorry! Bye, Paul! Come on, baby! I love you when you rock out!
Hit the
Drop the hammer on her!
Do it! Oscar, look!
The man who gave us the scientific concept of the Big Bang worked here, of all places, in this Belgian cathedral. Father George Lemaitre, born in 1894, may be the most important physicist you've likely never heard of.
Lemaitre was responsible for the idea that the universe not only is expanding, but that the universe has expanded from a dense state. He called it the primeval atom. Now we call it the Big Bang, but it was his idea.
The seed for the idea came from Albert Einstein and his theory of general relativity in the early 20th century. But Einstein himself did not like it. Einstein felt more comfortable in a static, unchanging universe. But Lemaitre took Einstein's chaotic, finite universe to its fiery origin.
Stars, the hosts of heaven, God's creation, the ones, each star has its name. As it says in the scripture, God says, I have named them all. I just can't help but to quote from Isaiah 40:26. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names. by the greatness of his might, for that he is strong in power, not one faileth. This is what people have been missing this whole time, and it's been right in front of our faces in the scripture. This is what God was showing Ezekiel. The wheels within the wheels are the belts that surround Earth. NASA calls them the Van Allen belts. These are the invisible belts of magnetic energy within the torus. They keep everything in motion, everything moving like a fine-tuned clock. All the eyes that Ezekiel saw was the stars. All the stars are created by God. They are the luminaries. That is what makes up all the eyes that is being spoken of. What Ezekiel saw was the absolute pure beauty of our home that God created for us. This is what Satan wants you blinded to. This is the absolute magnificence that Satan doesn't want you to see. This is why they mockingly show you that image in Game of Thrones and other movies, the wheels within the wheels over the flat plain earth. They're showing you the truth right in front of your face, and they laugh because you don't understand and you don't see. This is the beauty, this is the sheer absolute beauty of the world that God created, and he called it good. Now that you have eyes to see and ears to hear, now let me tell you this. These wheels that we see, these bands that move like a clock, this is how the sun and the moon do what they do. This explains their movements. It's all about magnetic energy. It's all about the magnetic fields. This is how they're frictionless and how they move in perfect unison. And just as it states in the book of Enoch, through the movement of these wheels, we see how the sun and moon will go through their vaults and rise and return in different areas. This is what the globe has blinded people to. The absolute truth of what God said all along. It has been here the whole time in the scriptures. Instead, we choose to listen to NASA. Instead, we choose to listen to the idiot box. Instead, we choose to listen to scientists, and we heap amongst ourselves teachers that teach us absolute lies to keep us in the dark. When God's been saying the whole time, just look up. Look up at what surrounds you. I made this for you. That's all God wanted to say. Just take a look. I'm here. I am right above you. You can take comfort knowing that when you step outside and gaze up into that starry wonder of God's creation, just know that our Father in heaven is sitting up there right now, staring down at all of us, watching us, watching our every move. He knows everything that's going on down here. He has not missed anything. And just know and be comforted by the fact that our Father is right there, and he's been there this whole time. This is something that the world and NASA and the scientists can never take from us, ever. Even the lying powers and signs of Satan that are coming, the lies of the fallen angels and the lies of the world that are going to be ever increasing, will still not rob this from my heart. And they will never rob from me my faith in Jesus Christ. the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords.